Hi, we are here at a Federal Bank branch in Delhi. Not because they called me here to sign paperwork like most Indian banks tend to do, but because they're doing something radically different in the Indian banking space. They're saying goodbye to physical paperwork for faster loans, for no more queues, for robust compliance, and for a greener environment. And they've achieved this paperless future in super quick time. So, curious to know more, I spent 10 days in Mumbai and Kochi speaking to their business and tech teams, their actual on the ground relationship managers, and customers as well to see this new development for myself. This is the story of how Federal Bank went paperless.
First things first, can you please tell me why do banks even have so much paperwork in the first place?
So basically, it's mandatory that you have an agreement, some agreement with a customer. So we have an agreement which is already executed by the customer to us telling him that yes, we will pay as per the terms of the contract. So this contract is created through this paperwork.
When you come to the banking industry, each and every transaction is associated with signatures, authorizations, which is documented or which was documented in papers. That means lakhs and crores of papers in a single day.
So yes, paperwork is a part of our daily activity, so we have no option but to live with it.
What documents do you get signed?
Demand promise, DPN we call it, then on secretary deliver SPL, then the loan agreement.
The application form and the documentation kit are the
POS agreements, payment gateway agreements, broker agreements,
sanction letter, loan agreements, some undertakings, debt acknowledgement.
Sanction order, the terms and conditions, key fact statement, the repayment schedule.
So, what was the old physical process that you followed to get these documents executed?
So the branch official prints it out, he attaches the stamp duty or the stamp paper alongside it. Then we go to the customer, we get it signed, we come back to the branch, we again scan it, send it to credit and go for disbursement. It was a lengthy process as of now.
It has to be vetted again. Suppose by mistake if one signature is missed out, then we go back to the borrower again for that signature.
Whew. Now that sounded like a very long, tiring, and cumbersome process to get documents executed. So I thought I'll go ask the people who manage this process if they also thought so.
Honestly, I don't know how we lived through that phase, but it was very, very difficult, and it was very cumbersome and expensive for banks to kind of address those on an end-to-end basis.
Certain processes we analyzed, we thought TAT is taking more, because ultimately for a customer TAT is very important. He or she wants an immediate answer, or as early as possible he wants a solution.
The main problems were around the fact that you needed the customer physically present at the same location as where the transaction was happening. So that was a big impediment, because customers have a life of their own.
Do you think this has an effect on the on how productive an RM can be?
Yeah, I do believe, because he is actually consuming some of the time which he would have otherwise spent on sourcing, right? Right. So he's he is actually spending some time for getting the loan documents executed. So I do believe that the efficiency can be much better.
Our employee has to fill all these physical application, right? Then the documents, our employee has to verify the genuinity of the document. He has to purchase a stamp paper, he has to take printout of this stamp agreement, he has to execute the agreement, okay, and he has to keep all these things in a shelf or anywhere. So entire thing has to do by the employee only.
In some cases there will be some 5 to 6, even 10 signatories will be there.
Okay.
So it was a hassle for us doing manual documentation, because we need to get all the 10 signatories at one place.
The errors, we were seeing a lot of errors, because when it's done manually, human beings tend to be human beings. One page is missed, something else is missed, signatures are missing, and then somebody in the audit process catches it, and then you're running around trying to sort that out.
We were doing around 50,000 loans or 40 to 50,000 loans per month. So these, you can imagine the volume of files, the paper which we are using and which is getting stored. Once the papers that to be indexed, streamlined, put in some files, then we have got multiple agencies who take care of the storage facilities. So giving them to an agency is very easy. But at a later point of time, if you want to retrieve something, either for the customer or for some legal terms or for some compliance regulatory thing, it's a nightmare.
Stamp procurement is a big headache, not only for our bank or maybe all organizations. So it's very difficult to manage, especially where the stamp duty is variable. It's very difficult to pre-procure stamps and keep it. There's an issue of validity of stamps as well.
The second side of the story was the cost impact, the kind of cost we had to involve in having physical documentation.
If it is typed, then the need for a printer. You need to print out those documents which need to be executed. Cost is a major factor, in the sense the paper cost, documentation cost which we have, the printout cost, manpower costs.
Approximately, if you take 1 lakh A4 sheet paper, it takes around 8 to 9 trees. If you think from a carbon footprint perspective, it's some 60,000 volume that it takes, the time it takes to be disintegrated.
So scaling up is impossible with physical documentation.
Recognizing the clear and painful business costs imposed by physical paperwork on the bank as well as its customers, Federal Bank decided to solve this problem once and for all, bank-wide.
So we have a digital center for excellence in our bank. So they are constantly doing research and trying to find out how this process can be automated, how it can be digitized.
The first thing that we went live with was auto loans. People started knowing that, okay, you can do this like this. Okay, so at that point of time came the pull factor. Everyone came, I want to sign this digitally, I want to do this digitally.
Once the DCE team helped auto loans go live with Leegality, other verticals immediately followed. The second was Central eSign or FedServe, third was the Credit Administration Department, and then the rest. KCC loans, fintech partnerships, personal loans, joint digital savings account, and the most recent vertical, JLG loans. In just 24 months, 8 verticals had switched to Leegality.
It's not a complex process of integrating. It's like just a plug and play.
So now that Federal Bank has made this bank-wide switch to Leegality, what is their new current process for digital paperwork?
I think we should divide this into 2 parts. One is loans which are given digitally, entirely digitally, end-to-end digitally. So that's one side of the story wherein it is an end-to-end digital documentation. Next, you have another set of, for example, loans like a housing loan or maybe an auto loan again, wherein the ticket sizes are comparatively higher, wherein you may need to engage with the customer for doing your entire process.
For verticals that have always been following a digital process, such as personal loans, their documentation now happens securely in compliance with RBI guidelines. The customer visits the Federal Bank or its fintech partner's website or app and checks her eligibility. If she's eligible, then a pre-populated document is automatically displayed by Leegality natively on screen. Then the customer affixes her Aadhaar e-sign. The bank then automatically signs all the documents, and finally, the signed documents are sent to the customer on email or phone and to the bank servers directly. For verticals that were following a physical process earlier, document execution has now become a simple 2-minute process. Document templates on Leegality are automatically populated with information from the LOS and stamped appropriately. Branch officers, RMs, or DSAs then simply trigger the documents to the customers for e-signing, who can sign it at their convenience from anywhere. As soon as all parties have signed, the documents are saved in the bank servers and sent to the customer's WhatsApp, SMS, and email. And yes, in many cases, customers still do come to the branch, but even then, it's a much quicker process because no one has to deal with paper or long queues.
So paperwork has now become a simple 4 to 5 step process digitally. But honestly, is this just a vanity thing to go digital with paperwork? Or are there clear business benefits that the bank gets?
Where we've seen the huge benefit from a customer turnaround time perspective, from a customer efficiency perspective, from our own cost efficiency perspective, lack of errors. The entire process has become so effective that I can't visualize how we lived without it.
It's important for them to get the money at the right time. So that means that is very much important.
Interview some of the farmers who had already availed the loan. How thrilled they are to get a loan within the shortest possible time.
So, on average, how much time does paperwork take now with this new digital process?
7 days can now be done within minutes.
Maybe it could take a week, 10 to 15 minutes while sitting there.
From 3 days till 1 day within a 10 minutes time period.
So the minimum 4 days in 30 minutes.
So you being an ETB customer, within 2 minutes you can take a loan, and if you're an NTB customer also known it, within 4 minutes you can take a loan.
Customers' efforts are getting reduced. He sitting in the leisure of his home or office, he can avail the banking facilities.
The customer is eligible, then he don't need to wait for anything else. He can immediately accept the terms and condition. He can immediately execute the agreement. The amount will get in his account.
So you go to a showroom. The meanwhile, you select a car. The time that it takes for you to take a test drive and come back, you have a loan ready for you.
Customer experience has improved tremendously. So we create a customer experience automatically. There will be a tendency of customer to come back again and again for loans.
And so you can imagine the enhancement in productivity. So that guy is really so happy that he says what was X for me now, I'm able to do 2X in the same time I'm available because I've been able to digitize the process. So from an employee standpoint, it's been hugely beneficial.
Very rarely there is a positive feedback, but when it comes to the document signing process, I have personally received a lot of feedback saying that this process is very good, very user friendly, because their work is almost brought down to zero, and quality work, so it meets our compliance norms as well.
We have to take print, then we have to sign one by one. There is so many forms there. I think 1 to 12 papers is there for one customer. In digital documentation, we have to go to their house. Then we don't have to take it to our office. We take all documents in there with live uploading.
We don't have to keep printing of documents. We don't have to file up the papers. We don't have to do the storage part. So all these things we have got done with because of the Leegality platform. So that's easy, and that's how it has made our lives convenient.
It's previously which used to take some 3-4 hours. It's all the coordination, all this documentation, scanning, all those things. It is done in 15 minutes.
Centrally for us, we know that the risk has come down so much. You know exactly, as long as he is there in your Aadhaar database, he authenticates yourself, you know that the right person is signing your documents. Mistakes are very low. He signs on every pages.
All the data is correct in all aspects. You cannot have mistakes in a digitally generated document.
Once the document is physically signed, we have to keep it in safe custody. So in this case, this is digital. So that is available anytime and we can retrieve it easily.
And also we have shared these documents with customers' registered mail ID and mobile number. Also, Leegality is maintaining logs of all these activities. So at any point of time, if any dispute comes, we can take these logs and we can claim.
The coordination with the customer, waiting for them, taking printouts, keeping it ready, storing the document. Document management also becomes easier through this.
So if you visit some of our branches, busy branches, you will not find any documents, no files, nothing.
We have a stamp dashboard where we manage all the stamps availability, expiry, etc. That has been very useful. So it has moved from the ground level management of stamps to a central level, and all these stamp papers are kept centrally. So it is there whenever required. There is no change in the process, but the operational ease is tremendous.
Unless we digitalize, the cost we may not be able to control, and there will not be any profit we will be making in doing such business. I think the operational expenses what we are incurring without a digital process, especially depending on our own branch team and all, is very difficult.
You know the full form ESG, right? Environment, social, and governance. So actually, bank has taken ESG as a very, very serious theme within the organization. Actually, last year we have done some study. So roughly, we have saved around 10 million sheets of paper through the digitization method.
Moving into paperless has been a boon for a lot of banks like us.
We spoke to heads of different verticals at Federal Bank. We spoke to business correspondents, to relationship managers, to branch officials. But the voice of a key stakeholder has been missing so far, that of the customer.
So my name is Ankur.
I am Meenakshi.
And we both took a housing loan from Federal Bank.
വേറെ ലോൺസ് ഒക്കെ എടുത്തിട്ടുണ്ട് വേറെ ബാങ്കിൽ
വേറെ 2 ലോൺ എടുത്തിട്ടുണ്ട്.
ആ പ്രോസസ്സ് എങ്ങനെയുണ്ടായിരുന്നു?
ആ പ്രോസസ്സ് എന്ന് പറഞ്ഞാൽ നമ്മൾ ചെന്ന് കുറേ നേരം വെയിറ്റ് ചെയ്ത് അവർ കുറേ അവരുടെ പ്രൊസീജിയേഴ്സ് നടത്തും. കുറേ പേപ്പേഴ്സിലൊക്കെ സൈൻ ചെയ്ത് ഒരു 2-3 മണിക്കൂറൊക്കെ കഴിഞ്ഞിട്ടേ എടുത്തുള്ളൂ.
എത്ര ദിവസം എടുത്തത്?
അതൊരു 5-6 ദിവസമൊക്കെ എടുത്തു.
And as per our earlier experience, we went to the branch.
Yeah.
I mean, we have taken a loan previously, and we signed all the documents over there, which was a time-taking process.
Correct.
You know, visiting to the branch, waiting there for the documents to be ready, and then sign each and every page.
We had to sign, I think, more than 50 pages. So, and then we had to wait for our turn, and then we have to go there, and it was really painful process. But
ഇത് ഈ ഫെഡറൽ ബാങ്കിന്റെ ആയിരുന്നു ഇങ്ങനെ എളുപ്പം?
അതെ അതെ അതെ. കാരണം ഒരു പ്രാവശ്യം ഓഫീസിൽ പോകേണ്ടി വന്നോളൂ. അതൊരു 1 hourന്റെ ഉള്ളിൽ തന്നെ എല്ലാം ചെയ്ത് പെട്ടെന്ന് തന്നെ പോരാൻ പറ്റി.
To our surprise, they sent a link to us instead of calling us to the branch. They shared a link to us. 4 applicants like me and my wife both got the link in our individual phone numbers, right? And then they said you need to go through the steps and e-sign documents through Aadhaar verification. So we did that process actually.
Which was real quick. It just took like 5 minutes.
ഈ ഫിസിക്കൽ പേപ്പർ സൈനിങ്ങും നമ്മുടെ ഇലക്ട്രോണിക് സൈനിങ്ങും ഏതാ ചെയ്തിട്ട്?
ഇലക്ട്രോണിക് സൈനിങ് ആണ്. കാരണം ഒരു തമ്പ് ചെയ്താൽ മതി. മറ്റേത് കുറേ പേപ്പേഴ്സ് ഒരു 8 പേപ്പർ ഉണ്ടാവും. ആ പേപ്പറൊക്കെ സൈൻ ചെയ്യേണ്ടി വരും. തമ്പാണ് ഇത്തിരി കൂടെ നല്ലത്.
So just to compare these two experiences between physical signing and digital signing, which one did you think was better and why?
Yeah, of course, I think digital signing was better, right?
Yes. It saves our time visiting the branch, signing so many papers. That will also take some time. With just one click or just one, OTP, we were able to sign the whole agreement, I should say. So this digital signing process is really fast and is more comfortable for the customer as well.
As soon as we e-signed it, immediately the document came to our email box, right? So that was also a good part. We don't have to worry about taking a leave from office to do all of those things now.
We were just at home and everything is done, and when we needed the check, the person was there from the bank. We didn't visit the bank. Everything was done via the phone, on the calls.
This automation is really helping the customer very well. I mean, we can focus on our work, and we don't have to focus on what a bank and loan department or whatever they are doing. So we are just at ease, and we have to just pay, and it will be all automatic. It's so nice. You don't have to run around to branches anywhere else. It's just that it's so convenient that you really feel like taking loan more frequently.
So it's been 2 years since this partnership began. How would you sum up your experience of using and interacting with Leegality?
I won't go into volumes. But with the digital process coming in, we are doing almost 4x the business we were doing in the initial 2 years.
The responsiveness, the innovativeness, the reachability, the resilience, all of these I think have definitely helped us become a much better bank in our services to the customer, and thanks to you guys at Leegality, that has helped.
The user interface of that particular platform is so intuitive, so easy to understand, that the customer has no issues going to click on the link and kind of executes the document in no time.
Be it any other APIs, be it bank's API or any other third-party APIs, we have to actually depend on the tech team, maybe of the bank or the partner. But I think this is the only service wherein we are managing, where we are not a tech team, we are a business team. you're able to create a template, create a workflow, download the API payload, give it to the partner, say that this is how it will work. Apart from that, the entire integration done by the partner. There's nothing where we require a support from our tech team or legality tech.
And the support we are getting from Leegality, that is awesome. Please keep keep up this support.
We are also getting inputs from Legalities that these things are happening in the industry, or this bank is trying to do that. Why can't Federal Bank do that? So I always appreciate that, because of course we also know what is happening in the industry, but in the particular domain you are the expert. Legality is the expert.
Of course, we have assessed other options at that time. We had assessed, but eventually I think this was the right decision, because everyone, the feedback that I'm getting from the team, ground level team in the bank, as well as outside from the dealers and from the customers, it has been it's the best decision I think that we have taken.
Today, in my view, legality has become a verb in the bank, if I can call it that. That's how embedded legality has become in us. So thanks very much for that partnership. We clearly look forward to many more years of partnership with lots more innovation coming in, and resilience, stability, etc.
So what advice would you give to other organizations in this space who haven't made this switch to digital paperwork?
So just get into it. It is a very seamless process, very easy one. And you start doing it, then I'm sure you will not come back.
So my view to banks and financial institutions is there is huge benefit from a customer turnaround time perspective, from a compliance perspective, from an error-free, lack of audit comments kind of perspective. And the employee is also much better off, because he just has to trigger this off and it all gets done effectively. So I would encourage everybody to get onto this journey. The more we are in the system, the better the ecosystem becomes as a whole. There's nothing competitive about this in my view. All of us have to be on this journey.